Good morning, Twitch.tv. I haven't even said anything funny yet. V, good morning to YouTube as well. And of course, good morning, Mini Motorways. Let's go to Dar es Salaam. We will get half the number of road tiles each week, but we do begin with 4 bridges. All right, the pick up the intro line bit in the middle was funny, but I said that after you interrupted me the first time, Sam, and therefore your objection is overruled. Oh boy. Oh, thank you, Samurai Sam, for being here first. No, I shan't. Oh goodness, we got a red business over here. We got another red business over here. He's just gonna hit all the buttons. We should just let him hit all the buttons, I think. You come down over to here. This is another red, which will swing in thus-wise. This one in turn shall go like so. There. 2 businesses, each with 2 houses. 1 business with 1 road. Everything is as it should be. Half road tiles is, I'm going to recite this verbatim, going to be a darn diddy pain in the keister. Is that right, Mr. Samurai Sam? Well, you know, sounds like fun. Let's take a couple traffic lights. Probably the only traffic lights we'll take or need for the entire... Oh, darn diddly. Darn diddly, I see. I perhaps had Mr. Combs on the mind. I will confess I have not been paying attention to the trial of Sean Diddy Combs, and therefore I should not have an opinion on his verdict. And therefore I probably shouldn't say anything, because hey, after all, man's been acquitted. Clearly, he did nothing wrong, aside from the other stuff of which he was convicted. But yeah, that sure is a country we live in, eh, folks? Alright, you come over to here, you get down over to here. We are out of road, which is great. It's tremendous. It's great that we drew one, like, somewhat longish road to get a couple blue houses over this way, and we are now out of road. Stupendous. Listen, Goog Bega, who said that almost 2 years ago, knew what he was talking about. I don't know what to tell you. We'll take 15 road tiles, try to make it a little bit easier for us to get from point A to point B as we need, and then immediately be in trouble because we've got a little blue thing over here. All right, let's take this, swing it down thusly, and toss a roundabout right here. I don't abhor that much. It's not the best thing in the world. You know what would go down nice and smooth, actually, is a traffic light right here at the entrance to this business, because it would, after all, be a perfectly cromulent traffic light. Now, this yellow is going to be a little more dicey, actually. Yeah, we don't have the means to convey these yellows off in a that-ly direction. I think we could get just a regular infusion of road and still not get there, actually, which bodes well. That's going to go down real smooth, I suppose. All right, well, let's get through to Monday and see what we do. Oh, boy. You know, it's starting to feel as though this lack of road tiles is going to be a darn diddly pain in the keister. I don't know if anyone's had that thought before, but yeah. All right. If we do this, that's horrible. That's bad. Nobody likes that. What if instead we This is just truly awful, isn't it? All right. Let's do this. How about we run the yellows up onto this dark blue road. Then we ever so slightly restructure right here break out there with a perfectly cromulent traffic light. That will give us, 10-ish pieces of road with which to work. Once this clears itself up, we can swing like that. And actually, I'm just going to preemptively cut this corner, actually, to save us a road tile. Samurai Sam would like to remember Raven, a tremendously successful professional wrestler. It must be said, Raven was mostly an ECW guy. Like, he made his name in ECW, and I was not a person who watched ECW. I know that Raven had a very long and well-regarded storyline feud with Tommy Dreamer. Like, Raven, I think, was the top heel in ECW for a very long time. And Tommy Dreamer was the plucky underdog babyface who could never quite win the big one against his arch nemesis Raven until one time he finally did. And then I think Tommy Dreamer turned heel or something because, well, it's professional wrestling. You can't just let a good story end. You've got to keep going back to it again and again, now and forever. And if that sounds like anything you know, well, Disney's rebooting the Indiana Jones franchise. Of course it sounds like something you know. Let's take a motorway, because a motorway is probably going to ultimately save us more tiles than whatever we do here. In fact, we can kill all of this, and we can shorten this, and in doing that, we'll have a whole bunch of road free in order to get these yellows over here, over this way. That seems Why? Alright, you go in that way. This, buddy, friend, guy, pal, man, sir. Let's have a think about you. We've got... Oops. Bulldozed that tree for no particular reason. Sorry about that. Tree. We could run from the roundabout down this way. Oh, that sounds awful. That sounds truly abhorrent. Let's consider it. We go doot, 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 doot. And that then brings these 4-ish dark blues over here. And they now have a choice. I mean, given the amount of dark blue spawning that's happening in this corner of the world, it's probably actually functional. And as you can tell, yellows are perfectly content to use this little plaza. Plaza, that's the word for which I was looking for. As a thoroughfare, which is not good roadsmanship in most cases, but in most cases, after 6 weeks on the job, you'd have more than 2 spare road tiles. So, you know, we do what we have to do, I guess. So Raven has this big feud with Tommy Dreamer. I think it was about Tommy's girlfriend, Beulah McGillicuddy. As I recall, Beulah was a big part of the feud. And they eventually, fought, and they teamed up one time, and it was a whole thing. Eventually, as with all of the big stars of ECW, Raven eventually realized, hey, wait a second, I'm very good at professional wrestling, and people like me a lot. I could make money doing this. So he decided that he wanted, money to continue performing, which is a reasonable request. However, ECW was not in the business of paying people, either to their agreed upon contracts a lot of the time, but very specifically paying them a lot of money. That was not a thing that ECW did. So we're going to pull a couple of these yellows over to here, like so. These two go service that business. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these yellows will continue going over here. We're going to want to be a little extra generous with the yellows going over this way, because this plaza is, after all, a bit of a detriment. If you really think about it, it's not actually that good. So, yeah. Additionally, let's scoot motorway number 1 this way and toss another blue down over here, because now this is a, this roundabout now has to service this circular business, is what I was getting at. Additionally, this red over here has rounded itself, which isn't excellent, actually. Hey, I have a question. Oh, wait, I figured it out. I answered my own question. Motorway or 15 road tiles? I'm going to take the motorway, and the reason for that is 15 road tiles is not actually a whole bunch of road tiles, and, like, a motorway can save us so many more than that if properly deployed. So, it's probably for the best that we do this. Now, there is a question of what in the holy hell do I want to do here? And I think I have an idea, actually. I think I have a halfway decent idea. Let's kill this road. We're going to redraw this. We're going to send this off that way. Kill this traffic light, redirect these folks here. You go off that away. We'll have... Hold on. I'm getting somewhere. This clump of 4 is going to service something. I think we'll redo this so that these reds point down this way. These reds will want eventually to swing up and into here. And this clump of 4 reds will serve the circle. There we go. Okay. We have to wait a moment for all of this to sort itself out, for us to reclaim all of these road tiles. But now that it's kind of sort of heading in a that-ish direction, we can do that. We can even have a nice pleasant angle turn into here. Okay. This has sort of, for the moment... Oh, right, I wanted to put a PCTL right there. We'll put a PCTL right here. That's okay. Another yellow for the yellow road. Another yellow to swing over this way. Sounds good. Okay. Everything's coming up reasonable house. At least for the moment. Also, we can move and shorten motorway number 2. Oh! Why? Tell me why. Alright, well, you bop over this way, and we'll take these 2 purples and just swing them in this manner, I think. Once we get this motorway back. Yeah, once this motorway sorts itself out, which will, any moment now, we'll just motorway number 3 in like that. There. Short, sweet, to the point. Good. Nothing's exploded yet. Amazing. So Raven realized that he's good and popular and talented at professional wrestling, and decides that he wishes to be compensated more generously for his efforts than he previously had been, and, well, that's just not a thing that happens to people who wrestle for ECW. So he goes to WCW, and he actually did pretty well for himself. Raven was one of the few guys who went from ECW to WCW and got, remained over. There were plenty of guys who went from ECW to WCW and saw their careers go in the tank, ranging from, the Sandman. Mike Awesome had basically the same thing happen to him. There were a number of them. Raven did pretty well for himself in WCW. He led the Flock, which was a neat little stable of him and Billy Kidman and a guy named Sick Boy, who I only remember because his name was Sick Boy. He became the United States Champion, which was WCW's secondary men's singles title in an era when secondary men's singles titles sort of kind of meant something. He eventually lost it to Bill Goldberg during Goldberg's ascension to the title. And then he kind of just hung around for a while. He kind of went down into the undercard. He was Raven in WCW for a while. I think he got hurt at some point. but I think he was still in WCW pretty much up until the end of it. I don't remember him debuting for the WWF until after they bought WCW. I could be wrong about that. It's entirely possible that I'm misremembering and he debuted in WWF sooner than that, but to my recollection, Raven debuted in the WWF shortly after they bought WCW, so they absorbed all the contracts, including Raven's contract, and he was not a huge deal there. You know, by the time he got to WWF or E or whatever word you want to use for it, he was getting kind of old. He couldn't really, go as much anymore, but he was still, reasonably charismatic and over and all of that good stuff. He had actually, and this is a true fact about professional wrestling. Hold on. I just realized that this light blue business exists and doesn't have anything supporting it at the moment, which is bad. Should probably do something about that. Behold, something about that. All right, so we toss these light blues onto here. They swing into the western entrance of this plaza. Now, unfortunately, I don't see a great thing to do to get reds up to here other than to draw a big, long road. And when I say big, long road, I mean, well, actually, hold on. We could potentially, what if we swing more light blues over here, but also restructure this road such that it hoots onto the entrance to this business right there? If we do that, then we can move this little purple house out the way and just toss reds in this manner. We toss reds in this manner, they grab here, they swing there. These two roads just kind of exist in the same space. And it's not necessarily great or nothing, but it'll probably be okay. So yeah, Raven was in the WWF for a while. He was part of the Invasion because, of course, he was an ECW guy. There was one episode of Raw. I think Raven was part of this episode of Raw. I don't remember why I remember this date so very clearly, but at the moment, in the time, it felt like a huge monumental thing to a 14-year-old tiny stupid baby, the _Goog. July 9th, 2001. WWF and WCW have sort of kind of been feuding for a while. Like March 26th was the episode where it was revealed that Shane McMahon had bought WCW, and then Shane and Vince had their match at WrestleMania, and then nothing happened with the Invasion for a couple of months, if we're being honest with ourselves. Like, they didn't really do nothing for a couple of months. But then, people started showing up, and Lance Storm kicked a guy, and Mike Awesome won the hardcore title in Madison Square Garden. I think that was Mike Awesome. It might have been Rhino. No, it was Mike Awesome. So they had a show at Madison Square Garden, and Mike Awesome won the hardcore title, and it's like, oh my god, a WCW guy's won a WWF championship, oh my god. And they're doing this feud, and it's going places, they're doing things. Okay, so Sam actually remembers this, possibly because the Invasion, although you must remember, it was stylized the I-N capital V, the Invasion. Very important for some reason. Or at least that was the name of the pay-per-view. That was a successful pay-per-view. I don't remember it being good, but, here's the thing with the Invasion. A lot of it was financially successful, and none of it was good. Oh, boy. We are out of road tiles again, but it is Sunday, so we just wait a moment and get some more, right? Or we get a motorway, which is basically the same thing as road tiles. Yeah, a motorway is basically the same thing as road tiles. Observe. We can kill all of this red Garbo crap. You remember when we had all of this red Garbo crap? Yeah, that was bad. Let's do this and this. Cool. That'll kill, again, all of the red Garbo crap. We take all of the red Garbo crap, what with its Greta-based nonsense, and we swing motorway number 5 up this way. For those of you who were wondering, Greta-based nonsense is indeed the title of the episode. Let's see here. Now I have to decide how to grammatically stylize the term Greta-based. I'm going with a hyphen. You want to come this way, I think, because you're going to do that. Amazing. This road will defoclicate itself just any moment it feels like it, really. And now nothing's on fire, every business is connected, and we have a whole 7 spare road tiles. I'm rich. Where was I? Oh, right. So Mike Awesome had won the hardcore title, and it was kind of a big deal. And then we get to July the 9th. And on the July 9th Raw, the following things happened, and I want to stress all of these things happened in one 2-hour episode of Monday Night Raw. There was a match with some WWF guys. It was like Chris Jericho and Kane against the Dudley Boys, right? So Chris Jericho and Kane are fighting the Dudley Boys. During the match, 10 dudes from ECW jump the rail and beat the ever-loving shit out of Chris Jericho and Kane. Like, Tommy Dreamer's there, Rob Van Dam's there. These are guys who have never shown up in the Invasion before. These guys from ECW show up and start beating the ever-loving shit out of Chris Jericho and Kane. Out come the saviors of the WWF. You've got Raven, you've got Taz, you've got everybody else who was in the WWF who had previously been in ECW. Oh no, they're beating the shit out of Chris Jericho and Kane. So they beat the ever-loving shit out of Chris Jericho and Kane, and it turns out that these 6 guys from ECW have joined with the Dudley Boys and the Invaders from ECW, and now the WCW WWF Invasion just got taken to the extreme. Oh no, ECW's here. Then, later in the same fucking episode of Raw, Shane McMahon, head of the WCW faction, goes to his father, Vince McMahon, head of the World Wrestling Federation. Shane McMahon, who recently had a blood feud with his father over his father's abuse of his mother and also his purchase of his father's rival company. Shane McMahon goes to Vince and says, let us put all of these differences aside and have one epic Titanic match so as to put down this ECW-ification of our invasion before it begins. 5 WWF guys, 5 WCW guys against the 10 ECW guys. Let us do that tonight. So that is, again, all of this is happening on one episode of Raw. So the ECW invasion happens. Shane goes to Vince and says, hey Vince, let's team up and kill these motherfuckers. Vince is like, cool. Vince goes to his WWF guys and is like, listen, you got to team up with these WCW fuckers. It'll be just for one night. We'll kill these ECW fuckers. It'll be fine. Later the same night, you've got a 20-man tag team match featuring the 10 ECW guys. And it should be noted that the 10 ECW guys are, to these people who just saw this, who just came to this random WWF show, it's like a handful of mid-carders from the WWF, a couple of guys you might have heard of but have never seen before, and the Dudley Boys, who are a big important tag team in an era when tag teams sort of matter. Versus the 5 WWF guys. And the 5 WWF guys are like 5 of the biggest stars who happened to be there at that time. So like the Undertaker's there. They trot out Chris Jericho and Kane again. Chris Jericho and Kane, who got the ever-loving shit beaten out of them, about an hour and 10 minutes ago. Rock was either injured or shooting Scorpion King or something. The Rock was not around. I don't think Steve Austin was part of this match. I don't think Steve Austin was around at that time. But it's like, it's Chris Jericho, it's Kane, it's The Undertaker, it's The Big Show. You know, it's reasonably big-ish stars. Those guys come out, and out come the 5 WCW stars. And it's like Booker T and 4 guys who matter less than Booker T. I don't remember. Austin became the leader of the Invasion after a while, after it was called, well, we don't say what it was called because that spoils the twist that's coming. So the WCW guys come out, and they start jaw-jacking with the WWF guys. And eventually, they get into a fight. And because it's WCW versus WWF and Vince McMahon is booking, the WWF guys win. So this allegedly 10-man tag team has now split into 2 factions of 5 who fucking hate each other. The WWF guys kick the WCW guys out of the ring. Here come the 10 ECW guys. The 10 ECW guys get in the ring. The 5 WCW guys get in the ring. And they turn around, and now it's the 15 guys together. ECW and WCW have merged, and they're gonna take out the WWF together. All of this fucking happened. And also, oh, by the way, the new owner of ECW is a person who has not been on television for like 6 months since WrestleMania. It's Stephanie McMahon. Because yes, the storyline, promotional invasion of what was once the biggest wrestling company in the world and was very recently the second biggest wrestling company in the world and the third biggest wrestling company in the world. Those 2 companies having combined forces. The best way to tell this story is by having Vince McMahon's kids be their bosses. Now, on the one hand, Tiny Baby the _Goog, well, 14-year-old the _Goog, was very happy to see the return of Stephanie McMahon because, well, on the other hand, this was stupid. And this was very stupid. And it went very poorly. It led to very bad things. Like I said, a lot of the invasion was financially successful. None of the invasion was good. The only thing that could possibly be said the opposite was the performance of Stone Cold Steve Austin as the heel leader of the invasion. He was excellent in that role. It was a terrible financial decision to do that. So, yep. Anyway, we've told the story of the invasion somehow. But yeah, July 9th, 2001, all of these things happen. Incidentally, and again, it should be noted, what the hell is going on here? This dark blue is doom screwed. How do we get more blues going that way? Can I toss? I can't really fit a roundabout in like anywhere here. I can put one here. I can put a roundabout here just like decorative. And we could have a decorative roundabout. That sounds stupid, but okay. I don't know though how we're gonna get this yeah, Kurt Angle won the WCW title. That's a thing that happened. That is a thing that happened. We could just toss these dark blues onto this road. It's not going to be good, but it is hopefully going to keep this little western end of the plaza business up and alive for another moment. Oh, wait, hold on. I just got an infusion of road tiles, and by getting said infusion, we can now do this, which will hopefully suck a little bit less. Hopefully that... Why? All right, buddy, here's the deal. I'm going to ignore you, and these businesses are still going to die first. How about that? How about I completely ignore you, and these businesses still die before you? I'm never having to deal with you. God. 1,676 commuters over 80 days is, well, it sure is a score. It's top 15% in the world, but it's not as good as Samurai Sam. Drop those slams in the chat if you've got them. And now, let us bring in our bestest friend among New York Times word games, the Wordle. Hello, the Wordle. It could be fresh. It's not, but it theoretically could have been. We've learned nothing. Great. It could be patio. We've learned a little bit. Okay. It could be polyp. Could absolutely be. It's not, but could it be poppy? Will poppies make you sleepy? Poppies will make you sleepy. Haha. We have secured victory over the Wordle in a scant 4 words. Sam was hoping I would guess poopy, which, I mean, that would be in keeping with... It's a word that Yuna says in Final Fantasy X too. Okay. I don't want to know the context by which Yuna calls something poopy in Final Fantasy X too. All right, let us guess where and when we are in existence. Hello, discount breakfast club looking motherfuckers sitting on the steps of a thing. What does your bag say? So these are SHC posters, I favolosi posters de films. Okay, so these are movie posters of Barry, Ogie, and Papadamame. Okay. So what this bag tells me is that we're in Italy. I think we're in Italy. Probably on the steps of some old Italian building. Because, I mean, you can't throw a rock at Italy without hitting some old Italian building. Particularly in the, building parts of Italy. There are parts of Italy that have, like, mountains and dirt and shit, where it's reasonably difficult to throw a rock and hit an old Italian building. But in the parts of Italy where there are, like, buildings, good luck. All right. So we're on the steps of the something in Italy. This looks like a pretty 80s group here. We've got biggish hair and these types of jackets, and good lord. Let it never be said that the _Goog is a fashion maven or nothing, but I must question the white athletic socks with brown loafers. I have questions. I'm just going to leave it at that. I have questions. So yeah, are we supposed to be able to identify which old Italian building this is? Oh hey, we can actually read the inscription here. Domini Nostri, Jesus el Cristo, Sixtus Papa V, de Totis, Sicilium, Extravaganza, San Sal, 15. You built this in 1585, according to Pope Tertio. Got it. Like I said, some old Italian building. Yeah, this poor dude, this poor motherfucker was just going to hang with his Italian chums on the steps of a building, and here, 40 some odd years later, a fat American who's that is dunking on his socks. Sucks to be you, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. We're going to go to Rome, and we're just going to throw a dart. We're throwing a dart in Rome. We're probably not in the Vatican. Like, buildings can be inscribed with papal shit and not be literally in the Vatican, but we'll say that we're somewhat close-ish. We're like, there. Yeah, we're there in Rome in 1986. There. It was the Basilica di Santa Maria Maggiore. Obviously. That was painfully obvious and I just missed it or something. I don't know. I'm perfectly content with that score. The 34th enemy of Baath is apparently a bad thing. You don't want to be the 34th enemy of Baath. Unless you're this baby. Maybe this baby is the 34th enemy of Baath. It's possible. Unlikely, though. Did you rate yours? No, you wrote yours in Cyrillic. Okay, so we're in Russian or somewhere adjacent to that. Yeah, I'm not even going to try. I lied. Dear but new, Nitu, Amhuktuo, Tenochtitlan. Off we go. All right. Ever wonder how many other people's pictures you're in as a random stranger? I try not to acknowledge the reality that the underscore Goog takes corporeal form, which is unfortunate because the underscore Goog takes a rather large corporeal form. Also, I should probably recognize this flag. I'm 80% sure that that's a Ukrainian flag, which would indicate that we're probably somewhere that some people are mad about what Russia's doing to Ukraine, which, I mean, to be fair, is a large portion of the world, but also probably close to Ukraine. So these folks here, who collectively are now known as the 34th enemy of Baath, have decided to support Ukraine, which, hey, good for you. Hey, if the 34th enemy of Baath supports Ukraine, it's probably true that Baath is a bad dude. Can I make out anything from your flag? Not really. Nope. 34th enemy of Baath, title of the episode. But Sam, I already noted Greta-based nonsense. Alright, fine. We don't want those Garbo heads searching us anyway. The 34th enemy of Baath. There. Yeah, we're somewhere near Ukraine, but not in Ukraine, and oh, God. All right. It's probably last year. Okay. So I will now draw a circle that encompasses Russia. There's a big old Russia part. Which one of these is the Ukrainian part? I don't know. I think it's this way. I don't actually know my European. Oh, hey, I was right. So yeah, we're probably in, I don't know. We could be in Kiev. That's definitely, Goog, there are 8 ways to pronounce the name of that city, and you picked none of them. We could be in the capital of Ukraine, or we could be somewhere in Russia where people are mad. Yeah, we could be somewhere in Russia where people are mad. That sort of makes sense, but yeah, it could be somewhere in Russia where people are mad. That's gonna go real well. When did the invasion start? Was it last year? Was it 2023? I mean, we spent 20 minutes of this episode discussing it, and we decided that it started in 2001. But I think the invasion of Ukraine by Russia started in 23. I was wrong. It was well, this was in 2014 after they annexed Crimea, and we're like, hey, we're taking Ukraine next, blah. And it turned out that they wanted to take Ukraine next, blah. Next, hey, if I was a person who recognized flags, this would be easy. This is Denmark? Maybe? That feels right. That feels correct. What else do we have here? We've got battleships in the harbor, but given the flagrations going on here, I'm thinking this is celebratory shit, not wartime shit. These are just hey, look at our neat boats. And I mean, those are some pretty neat boats. Can't obviously tell any kind of license plate structure or I think maybe you can tell from this and also this, there's a shape right here, I think is leading to an indication that this is a drive on the left place, which, man, I should really learn and internalize and remember which places are drive on the left place and which, well, no, this is a steering wheel on the left place, which would make it a drive on the right place. But yeah, I should really learn and internalize which places are drive on the which way places. That sounds like work. Sounds like effort and difficulty. There really aren't that many drive on the left places. That's true. There's the UK and presumably Scotland and Wales because they share a landmass. Hong Kong. Yeah, that's about it. Hold on, I just excluded Scotland and Wales from the UK, which is wrong, because it's the United Kingdom of Great Britain, which is the island containing England, Scotland, and Wales, and Northern Ireland. Okay, Ireland. Anyway, reasonably certain that this is Denmark. I think that's right. All of the Scandinavian flags take this same basic shape, but I think Denmark's is the one that has red in it. So we're going to look at these cars and these boats and the general not presently being used for murdering shitness of these boats and suggest that we're somewhere in Denmark in like the early 1950s. That all sounds right. Watch us be in, say, Iceland in the 1960s, which would be significantly wrong. Where are we going to go? Here, that's a wonderful question. If you say you're in Denmark, you should probably say you're in Copenhagen, just because, well, yeah, that does make sense, doesn't it? Here, let's stick a pin near the water near Copenhagen and call it good after we go to 1952. 8. Also, it's Norway, not Denmark. Close. Denmark's flag is similar. It has 2 colors instead of 3. It just has red and white. Oh, well, it was Scandinavia adjacent. I'm fine with that. Next. Hi, not Megazord. Voltron? Is that you? Is that what a Voltron looks like? I never really fucked with Voltron. I was a Power Rangers kid. I don't even know which one ripped off which, but one of these very clearly ripped off the other, because this, I mean, listen, to a person who only can identify the Megazord, this looks like a fucking knockoff Megazord. It's probably Voltron. Hi, Voltron. So we got a big old Voltron here. Cool. It's amazing. We've got, amazing. We've got signage in presumably Japanese. More signage in presumably Japanese. I remember that Sam told me the difference, the way to easily distinguish between Japanese and Chinese, and I don't remember what that way is, so that's very helpful. We're going to go with this is Japanese, which would lend further indication to this being Japan. Lady with a shirt, can't really make out. I don't even know if that's a character or like a shield of some kind. You there. Dude with his back to the camera, are the town commander of endless mode, apparently, which is good for you. Someone's got to command the endless mode towns. This is, Nippon Express. I was right about Japan. Cool. So this is some big Voltron fest in Japan in a time when a Voltron Fest would have attracted a large throng of people, which, I mean, to be clear, if you announced and properly promoted a Voltron Fest in Japan, there would be a great number of folk there today, but this was not taken today. I think this sign says "Do not stop," which it would be very funny if it said "Do not stomp." It might just be reminding Voltron that these people are important and not to be squished. Voltron, do not stomp. Crack me up. All right. When are we? Wonderful question. We've got flip phones, which probably makes it early 2000s. And we got a person on a flip phone, a lot of cheap handheld portable digital camera going on, but important to note that these are portable digital cameras, not telephones. Well, that guy's got a phone, but he's got a BlackBerry looking thing. So, yeah, this is like 2003. That feels right. That feels broadly correct. All right. Can we narrow this down any more other than Japan? Maybe. The sign on the side of this building says Okio, and it's obscured, and presumably there's a T near it. So we're going to stick a pin in Tokyo and call it good. Tokyo's down this way. We're going to stick a pin in Tokyo. Say that it's 2003. It was, in fact, 2009. Oh, and that's a Gundam. Oh, right. Gundam's a thing. Man, I spent a lot of that particular round of Time Guesser shitting on Voltron for no reason. Oh, it says Tokyo 2016 on the Gundam shoulder. Oops. Oh well, still got a reasonably good score. Hi there, folks building a building. Man, if I recognized that building, this would be real easy. I don't, so that might be part of the Taj Mahal, possibly. I say that mostly because of this dude's hat, actually. But all right, well, we got a dude with a hat and a dude with a sword. They're having themselves a powwow. This is a fucking old ass photograph based on the sepiality of it and the framery around the edges here. This could be part of the Taj Mahal. Can we get... I was kind of hoping that this would be like script or something. It doesn't appear to be. Now see, the thing with the Taj Mahal is it's like there's like a much more distinctive central building. I need about 6,300 to win the victory over Sam in Time Guesser. And, well, if I'm right that this is the Taj Mahal, which I don't think I am, actually, because, yeah, the Taj Mahal has like a more bendy-shaped top thing at its main central do-what's-it, doesn't it? Like, this isn't just a back shot of the... Oh, boy. But if this isn't the Taj Mahal, then what the fuck is it? My first thought was Angkor Wat. But, and this is very important, I don't know where Angkor Wat is or what Angkor Wat looks like. So, that doesn't help me that much. I don't know why when this image first appeared to me, I said, oh, hey, that's Angkor Wat. It's not. The fact that Sam is willing to tell me that Angkor Wat is in Cambodia is the biggest giveaway I could possibly get, that not only is this not Angkor Wat, this photo was not taken anywhere near Cambodia. And therefore, we're just going to shut up and go with our gut and try to remember where the hell the Taj Mahal is. I know it's in India. I remember that. I remember we once spent a fair whack of time trying to find the fucking thing. It's somewhere near New Delhi, isn't it? It's like not horrendously removed from society or nothing. It's probably not this close to the thriving downtown metropolis that is New Delhi, though. Well, shit. Sam, where's the Taj Mahal? Although, wait, if Sam tells me where the Taj Mahal is, that would indicate that, fuck, now I can't trust myself. Fuck. Oh, damn it. Oh, damn it to crap. Damn it to crap. I don't believe you. Oh, God. Is it near Kolkata? Possibly? No. Bad. Bad Leroy Brown. Baddest man, whole damn town. Oh, boy. Shit. Man, I should really learn, remember, internalize, acknowledge things. Shit, and shove me in it. Where the fuck are we? We're in New Delhi in 1914. I don't feel good about either of those. Yep. It is the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem in 1915. So, dang it. 38-23 is the final score. If I was a person who recognized religious buildings, well, I'm not. So, for today's Immaculate Grid, we need Astros and White Sox and Nationals, and dudes would hit 300 in a season, and dudes would hit 300 dingers, and dudes would amassed 40 or more wins above replacement in their career. A Washington National who amassed 40 or more wins above replacement is one Pedro Martinez. A dude who had a 300 batting average season and hit 40 or more wins above replacement in their career is... Do I want to get really cheeky and hit the Zach Greinke button? Because I know Zach Greinke was a good hitter for a pitcher. He might have had one sample size year where he hit he went 3 for 8 at the plate, and that counts as a 375 batting average, and he definitely got over 40 or more 40 WAR. That feels a little too cute. That feels just a little too cute, if I'm being honest with myself here. I don't necessarily... Hold on. All right, well, now we get to learn. Is Sam trying to help me here, or is he just fucking me out of a perfect grid? Zach Greinke did 300 in a season. Yay! Trust your gut sometimes. Unless your gut tells you that you're looking at the Taj Mahal, in which case, don't trust your gut. Okay. A dude who had 300 career homers and 40 or more wins above replacement in his career is Manny Ramirez. He had a fair whack at dingers and was good at baseball. Good for you, Manuel. A Houston Astro who hit 300 homers in his career is Moises Alou, probably. Seems like a number he would have gotten to. He was good at baseball. Dude who played for the Chicago White Sox and hit 300 career homers is one James Howard Thome. Dude who played for the White Sox, had a 300 batting average one season, is Robin Ventura? He was a power guy. I think he struck out a fair bit. 300's a good batting average. Ron Karkovice. No, he was not actually good. Frank Thomas might have hit 300 one year, but he was also a power and dingers and Ks guy. So, not necessarily the most batting average based motherfucker. Kenny Lofton never meaningfully played well for the White Sox, did he? No, it's an incorrect thought that just bubbled up to the forefront of my brain. Scott Podsednik was on the White Sox, perhaps even when they were good. Did Scott Podsednik have a 300 batting average for the White Sox? 300 batting average is hard, dude. Well, it's hard if you overthink it and gestures vaguely itself. We're going to suggest that Scott Podsednik had a 300 batting average one time for the White Sox because that's a true fact about professional baseball. He did. He was good for a while there. Also, Frank Thomas was a career 300 hitter because, well, he was very fucking good at baseball. I don't know what to tell you. A Houston Astro who had a 300 batting average in a season is which diminutive second baseman do we want to take here? Because, Craig Biggio certainly did this, and Jose Altuve certainly did this. For that matter, Moises Alou certainly did this. Can't take him. Derek Bell probably did this. We're just going to say Jose Altuve. That's going to be fine. Jose Altuve, 34% of the people who went for that square. Not a deep cut, Jose Altuve. Now we must remember some by the standards of professional baseballmen. He's no Jose Altuve, but he's still a tiny motherfucker, particularly among the Houston Astros of the mid-1990s. Perhaps the reason I remember Craig Biggio being so damn small is that he was surrounded by the Houston Astros of the mid to late 1990s. And 2000s. You put Craig Biggio in a room with Jeff Bagwell and Lance Berkman and Derek Bell, he's gonna look little. Anyway, a dude who played for the Nationals and also the White Sox is a wonderful fucking question, isn't it? Livan Hernandez? No, I don't think he played for the White Sox. I don't think El Duque played for the Nationals or the Expos. Jose Vidro? Was Jose Vidro on the White Sox or the Astros? I don't know, maybe. Jose Vidro kind of feels like he fits. Fuck, man. Well, a dude who played for the Nationals and the Astros is, hey, look, it's another chance to say Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson's a dude who played for the Nationals and the Astros, and a fair number of people remember that. And now, comes the harder one. Oh boy, let's see here. Jack McDowell played for the White Sox, but never the Expos. Nick Johnson played for the Nationals, but never the White Sox. Ozzie Guillen played for the White Sox, but never the Expos. Vladimir Guerrero played for the Expos, but never the White Sox. Frank Thomas played for the White Sox, but never the Expos. Joe Crede played for the White Sox. Robin Ventura, we already talked about, played for the White Sox. Mark Burley played for the White Sox. Chris Sale. I can name some Chicago White Sox for you, but don't know how much help that's going to be. Jason Beret played for the White Sox. I think Albert Bell played for the White Sox. Never played for the Expos, though. Roberto Hernandez played for the White Sox. There's a 2004 Red Sox guy who played for the White Sox and Nationals. Interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, Orlando Cabrera played for the Expos. Oh, yeah, he did play for the White Sox, didn't he? I'm reasonably certain that Orlando Cabrera fits the square. But now I'm kicking around like the back end of the bullpen. I'm trying to remember. I think Kurt Liskanek played for the Expos. I think Terry Adams played for the Expos. Ramiro Mendoza didn't. Byung-Hyun Kim didn't. Alan Embry didn't. I think Mike Timlin played for the Expos, but not the White Sox. Keith Folk played for the White Sox, but not the Expos. None of the starters fit, I don't think. I don't think Bill Miller played for them. Veritek didn't. Ortiz Millar, no. Mark Bellhorn played for the Expos. Did he ever play for the White Sox? Maybe? I think Cabrera fits. I think Cabrera's the one. Pokey Reese played for the Expos, I think. I don't think he played for the White Sox. Nomar didn't. Bill Miller didn't. Dave McCarty might have played for the Expos, but I don't think it's both. Gabe Kapler, I think. Man, a lot of fucking guys played for the fucking Expos. But not the White Sox. Jay Payton, I think, played for the Expos. He wasn't on the 04 Red Sox, but he was on the 05 Red Sox. Yeah, fuck it. We're saying Orlando Cabrera. Sam, tell me who that pitcher was. Also, that's an immaculate grid. Yay! Victory! A lot of the guys I think played for the Expos actually didn't. Oh, Bartolo Colon. Yeah, he played for the White Sox and the Expos, didn't he? Oh, well. This is an immaculate grid. Folks, we will be back not once, but twice in this week. Tonight, we shall return for Dragon Age: The Veilguard, and tomorrow morning, twitch.tv/the_Goog, we kick off Subathon 9, my favorite Subathon on the Citadel, with Mass Effect 2. It's going to be an awesome fucking day. We're going to play some awesome fucking games. And tonight, we will play a good fucking game. A good game. Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Still a controversial statement, apparently, that Dragon Age: The Veilguard is a lowercase g good game, but there you go. We'll play that later on stream tonight. For now, thank you as always for being here. This is the end screen. Goodbye.